A lot of priority bans here, I feel. Jax is one of them against Whirlib. We had a lot of specific bans against Mouse over the previous weeks, like Rek'Sai against Dan, for example. And we saw teams just not ban it and still win. So
one thing that has changed up is Mouse are playing with Nardius in the AD carry role, not Taric anymore. So no longer is Cedrine in this lineup, at least for this game. We'll get confirmation on whether that is a big change or whether it is a temporary change. But it's for this game, nonetheless, we are in that situation, and it's AD carries that are getting banned out on the second bans.
Yeah, Kalista up against Holy Phoenix, Lucian as well. Very interesting. So already putting stuff against the AD carries. Where do they finish it off? So Alistar is the last ban. What's open to be banned out and picked up? I feel like Lulu goes up in priority when you have Holy Phoenix on your team.
So we're in a Corki first pick situation for Mouse if it stays available.
Corki's gone.
It's
so
gone. Poppy is up. Graves is up.
Lissandra, flex picks.
Jin is not getting
up.
first picked.
Pick it. Ezreal.
Whoa.
Okay.
Who? Okay. That's
okay.
It's not the worst. Like Ezreal first pick is fine if you're just wanting a solid AD carry option right now, but
sure.
I feel like giving over 2 high priority picks now is a little bit of a. Again, it's another draft pacing thing. Is now you're saying, Huma, you take 2, I will take whatever is the next OP that's left. I would probably expect Huma to go like Lulu Poppy here, maybe. Although that's not the best in coordination with each other, thinking about it.
Well, 1 out of 2. Lulu and Nidalee. Graves is still up as well.
Poppy, Kindred. There's a lot available in this game. So this is what Mouse are banking on. Is like you pick the lower priority pick first that you kind of just want, and then you know you're going to get something from the pick and mix that is left.
Huma picked the Lulu. Nidalee, usually not the highest priority, but when you pick an Ezreal early into the draft, you take away a potential strong poke composition there. And then, yeah, you could pick up your jungler here from Mouse, or just go Grave and flex it. And Braum as well. Has that been locked in? Not yet. Okay.
Now it has.
Now it has.
Braum is locked in.
I just have to lean over and I'm like...
oh, dear. Need to get your eyes checked.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, Graves picked up here, so could flex into the top lane or jungle. Generally seeing it in the jungle. And then Braum and the bottom lane has been locked down. And wow, that's a fast rotation. So Caitlyn picked up, a lot of the AD carries have been banned away. The other one would be like Misfortune.
Yep.
Not sure how well that really does against the mouse composition so far. So Holy Phoenix will pick up the Caitlyn, also along the Janna as well for disengage. So far we've got like poke, disengage, Lulu for Holy Phoenix.
Very similar to what we saw in game 1 of Inspire versus SK, where it's like, let's just go protect our AD carry in a matchup that we are expecting to win. It is a different duo lane though now for Mouse, or at least the AD carry has been changed out. Rux has remained as the support. So now how will they fare is the question. Looking at the solo laners picks right now, so we've got poke, we've got kind of the catch from Braum when you look at like accepting poke and disengage with the ultimate. What do they go for the rest of the map? They have a lot of options.
Yep, they have a lot. They could go for teamfight. And they lock in Maokai and Lux. Okay, so teamfight and pick coming in from the Lux, but yeah, so long range snipes coming in, but definitely more teamfight orientated here.
So they've got a fair amount of wave clear now. They've got Lux, they've got Graves. They got that big potential with Maokai. Oh, that's an instant Fiora locked in. And that is Whirlib's Fiora, 8-1-4 last week. Will we see him do the same again? So now what Huma have done here is they've created a scenario where Whirlib, if he gets ahead, can always be pushing in the solo lane. I mean, a Maokai's not really going to hold a Fiora when this goes late. Then you've got a 4-person stack of a Caitlyn and a Nidalee who are very good at sieging, alongside a Janna, a Lulu to buff up the Caitlyn. Keep in mind as well, Nidalee, her heal bestows attack speed. So that's another added bonus that we'll see here. I wonder whether we'll see like Ardent Sensor Janna. Maybe, so you put like Ardent Sensor Janna, you get the attack speed buff from the heal from Nidalee. Man, all the attack speed.
Ardent Sensor seems so good on paper, but in reality it's like 0.10, like
Still
extra,
good.
like, you know, attack speed. But it's, you know,
it's
every
fine
little
on
counts,
Janna,
you know.
like-
Yeah, it is. But we'll see if we'll let's see if it gets picked up. It's happening. So yeah, jump on Twitter and use the hashtags jump and get in the conversation. I don't know what I'm saying really.
Jump
MOU
and get in the
jump
conversation.
up and down and then get involved in the conversation. Get the blood flowing and then
Hashtag HMA win. I just want people to be stood in front of their screens jumping.
yeah, like take a
at
vine of
EUCS.
yourself doing it, send it at me, and then that'll be fantastic. Thank you. This has been a public announcement by Pulse. But yeah, I actually really like this composition from Huma. I think it's just really well put together. Like, you have a carry player in the top lane who just goes for a carry. You go for a 4-1, protecting your other big carry in the bottom lane with Holy Phoenix. Godbro is the one who kind of bites the bullet and doesn't have to go for a carry and picks up the Lulu to facilitate the other carries on the team. And that's what Santorin was saying last week as well when we talked to him. It's just like, well, we have all these carries on this team. So someone sometimes just doesn't need to be a carry. So that's pretty much just what he did. So pretty good to see. On the opposite side, Maokai again. Binsu, I wonder how he itemizes, because we saw a rod of ages last week as well, which is super interesting, versus like what the Koreans have been doing recently, which has been the Righteous Glory, which is what Maokai was running before we saw him fall off. So
It was. So, there's an interesting thing to track, or rivalry to track in this game. So, Holy Phoenix we talked about being, you know, a big Turkish player coming over and joining. Nadius is as well. Nadius played on Besiktas.
he did, with
So,
Dumble Doge, I believe.
Yeah, so
10 points to Dumble Doge.
you're in a situation where we've got this very interesting AD carry duel, but it's top lane. There's a duel over the jungle. Santorin gets the worst of it.
Oh, to flash away on Willip. They're not on the same page. He'll get locked down as well from the concussive blizzards. Maybe a kill as he flashes over the wall. Nardius does not pick the right way, but lands more Mystic shots onto Santorin as he backs away. That was disastrous. I don't think they can take away the red, but that delayed Santorin a lot, and the double jungle was completely interrupted.
Yeah, they get a big stop onto the red buff start from Huma. Now Huma are probably going to have to come and start their blue buff, and that there is a ward still on red, which Huma will know about, and it forces a complete change now, and will delay the ability for Huma to group down on the bottom side. Don't worry about that. That has already gone and passed. In the caverns of time, it is gone.
We are in the future. The future is now.
The technology was there.
It was. Santorin will actually not give over the experience to Whirlip because he's so far behind, so he needs to level 2 to clear his jungle now. So Whirlip actually hurts a little bit here. So now, basically in this lane swap, Mousesports have the massive tempo play, so they will move into the top lane way before Huma managed to get their rotation to the bottom lane with the 4-stack, meaning they actually move down slower to the top lane, and actually he carries on clearing the jungle because they're so far ahead, because they don't need the extra person to push it down faster.
They are sending Whirlip in. Whirlip's still level 1. This is a really disastrous play.
Just dinged.
Yeah, just hits 2, but he is now leeching experience, of course, as you would expect in this situation. He's going to be behind on experience. Once these waves bounce and Binsu soaks up the top wave, Whirlip soaks up the bottom wave, Whirlip will still be behind.
Yeah, we'll just see if they get the bounce. It looks good. Top lane as well. It's recall coming in from Nardius and Rux. So again, they are approximately 10 seconds ahead of the play, I believe, in approximate terms. Mid lane, Godbro versus Sevix in the mid lane. I mean, it's Lux versus Lulu, so it's very difficult for anyone to die, really. And Sevix has even gone heal, so very unlikely for that to happen.
I love your approximation with a fairly exact number.
I mean, 10 is like a round number. It's
yeah,
not like 7.2 seconds.
But yeah, you're talking about a small window, and you're like, no, it's about 10. Which means it's like somewhere bigger than 5, but lower than 15.
Correct.
So
Next time, would you like me to give a range stress?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I
I'll
would.
keep that in mind. So it's about 5 to 10 seconds that Mouse are ahead of the play here.
I'm going to count.
Ultimately,
if it's outside of that.
Ultimately, it's kind of negated, so we're looking from anywhere from 0 seconds to 10 seconds now.
Binsu's trying to do the camp out and leech experience play, but he bottled it. He bottled it at the last minute. By the way, I'm going to price this right you.
All right.
So it could be anywhere.
That's not fair.
It could be anywhere up to 10.
That's the dumbest rule, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
It can be any amount lower, but you can't be higher.
it just didn't make any sense.
Just because you're bad at estimating things.
Yeah,
This is why you need a range. You can't go on Price Is Right and be like, well, I think it's somewhere between $100 and $400.
That's totally
cheating,
what I would
Pulse.
do.
Oh, dear.
Well, I would lose. So far, no one is really losing out. Huma back into the top lane with the 3-man stack and the minion wave stack. Bot lane is just doing the same from Mouse. So they've actually caught up because they're just doing phase 2 where they go into the top lane and take the other tower. And now Santorin will just hang around the same area as them and also take away those wards and, or jungle camps, I should say.
So, I'm going to set Pulse off
All right.
to elaborate on the second Doran's ring that Maokai has picked up.
Okay, like this is so
gonna sit
good.
down.
This is so good. So Maokai is like one of those few champions and those top laners as a tank who really benefits from double Doran's ring. Some like ages ago we used to see Doran's ring be like stacked, like 3 stack or like 4 stack, but 2 is just enough for Maokai to spam his Q and basically get all his mana back if he actually last hit those minions. And then you can just continuously Q over and over again. You never really run out of mana. It's specifically good in the one-on-one against a lot of top lanes. So when you see like a tank matchup and a tank matchup, Malphite sometimes runs dry if he hasn't just gone for the corrupting potion, whereas Maokai continues to sustain, especially if he goes for an early back, picks up the Doran's ring, teleports back into the top lane. You just out-sustain a lot of those other top laner tanks, like Shen and Malphite. So it's just really good for Maokai in those situations. In this one, he can still clear the minion waves and have enough mana to go around the map and generally be at full health, and gives enough damage from his Q and the rest of his kit to actually have his early game damage remain relevant.
Oh, I brought you a sandwich. You were still going?
That's awesome. I'll take that. You can take over.
Oh, okay, cool. Right,
Yeah.
so I guess I'll get back on with a play-by-play then at this point. Not a lot happened in the last minute while I was out. For the record, I didn't actually go and get him a sandwich.
No,
He's actually quite disappointed I didn't come back with anything.
You made a hand motion like you had one. Like I was looking up into the distance while I was
I
talking.
didn't leave the desk. Where did I get? You think I just keep sandwiches under here?
I mean,
just like halfway
I
through?
turned around. You could have left and I wouldn't have noticed.
Wow, that says a lot, Pulse. You could have left and I wouldn't have noticed. Well, Willib is trying to leave and Dan's going to notice.
He already got locked down and has already used the riposte in that trade against Beansu. Ooh, all that damage. Do they have the follow? Beansu does have flash though, and so does Dan. They're going to burn both of them. Actually not necessary, but it was cool. And Beansu picks up the first blood.
I mean, Beansu had that. There
did.
really was no reason for Dan to flash.
He wanted the kill.
But that just frustrates me, because that tells you that Maus aren't on the same page. Like, it's a minor mistake, but it's just that kind of thing where you look at it and you're like, oh, you didn't really need to do that.
So the biggest thing after the lane swap is Willib is 2 levels down on Beansu, and is also significantly behind in farm. So if they go in the one-on-one, Maokai actually wins.
Yep. Well, I mean, that happens with a 2-level advantage plus farm advantage.
Okay, with most champions.
And a lot of that is just from how Willib got put far behind early, and then Huma's map movements since have been that top lane got pushed out, and Willib had to go with the wave. If he even wanted to get experience, that's what forced him further down the lane and caused him to get picked off, because he couldn't go bottom lane because that's where Huma had their bottom lane already. And Maus were responding in kind, so they were forced into a standard lane setup where Willib just had to overextend.
And now this is really rough. Double ring Maokai against Fiora. At this stage, like, there's nothing as Fiora you can really do. Like, even if you riposte, if the timing is right, you can just go underneath with a Twisted Advance and actually just, like, not even get stunned. The only difficulty is then when Willib hits 6, then he has trade potential, but while he's still 4 and 5, there's really not a lot he can do. One last point on the double rings, and then I will be done, I promise, for the game. It's really nice because with those 2 items being taken up, as Maokai, the way you itemize, no matter what you go with the Catalyst, you never really fill those spots, so Doran's ring remains for most of the game, if not all of the game. So usually it's not slot efficient, but in the case of Maokai, you can make it work.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
Keep that in mind. You're done? You're completely done? You're not allowed to talk about Maokai for the rest of the game?
All right, all right.
All right, you promise?
Not
even in team
promise.
fights.
Yeah, just ignore Beans, who's like, you may have gotten that fantastic knockup, but
he doesn't exist anymore in
promise.
this game. But what does seem to be going well for Mouse right now? This is probably the best early game we've seen Mouse actually have. They've taken it to Huma from the lane swap. Huma just really got messed up by that Mouse invade. Slow down Santorin, slow down Whirlib. Whirlib's still 2 levels behind, isn't able to catch up, but look at where Whirlib is on the map. If Whirlib can maintain the wave at this point without the rest of his team getting punished, then it may be enough to get back in. The problem is, to freeze a wave in the current meta is fairly suicidal, because this is what happens. The enemy team just group, double light binding.
What does it mean? There comes the banana as well, and the sapling will slow down Godbro. Santorin will jump in and jump back out. Dan will take a bit of damage as the minion wave evaporates. Who are definitely on the back foot in this game, but honestly not that much in terms of gold, just experience when you look at the side lanes. However, now Whirlib has gotten a nice freeze and is able to get a lot of that farm back. Yeah, like Huma need time to set up.
It is, however, fortunate that with this double utility setup of Janna plus Lulu, it's going to be very difficult for a tower to die, because you have the Janna shield goes onto the tower, Lulu clears out most of the wave with the Glitter Lance, and from there, Mouse can't do anything without going fully aggressive, and then you've got the Janna ult to disengage from, so there are a lot of options for Huma.
Many options. Most of them involve farming currently. Holy Phoenix is significantly ahead of Nardius in terms of farm. Sacrifice top laner, really. Mid lane as well, over Sebex. I just wonder, like, when Mouse kind of hit a wall, because once you can't stop bursting Holy Phoenix or Whirlib, then you hit serious issues. Like, your burst comes from Sebex, Nardius, and Dan. And you have lockup from Beansu. As soon as you stop being able to burst those targets because of the shields from Godbro, Cass, and Santorin buffing with the E, with heal and extra attack speed, I don't know what you do.
Yeah, that is a point where you start running out of options.
But they're not there yet.
They're not there yet.
That is the end game for Huma, and then they're still approaching that point.
And we still will run into a situation where Whirlib will scale so that he wins the 1v1, undoubtedly. I mean, you can only put him so far behind with a Maokai that a Fiora won't become effective. You have to basically... Oh, we got it! Collateral damage got it, I believe, over the wall.
That was so many ultimates.
Yeah, I was like trying to figure out exactly what got it, so there was a little less hype than there should have been maybe on a Dragon Steel, but first one goes over to Mouse. Nice little steal with collateral damage.
Collateral damage, final spark,
and
true shot.
True shot. I mean, it's... When are you not the best with Smite? When there's 3 ults that all come at the same time.
That would have been Santorin's time to shine if he just smited through all of that. But
yeah, I actually think there was more chance of the ults getting it.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the damage is currently on every single ability compared to Smite, but I don't think it's more than Smite. So if you get the timing right, it's okay. But because when they all use the ultimates at a certain point, you're chunking it down between certain health. So, for example, it's like 1,500 health, and then like one does 300, then the next does 500, the next does 300. Then you do it in chunks, and then the next one could be equal with the chance of smiting.
Santorin's Smite was 570. Both, pretty much Ezreal ult, Lex ult are about 350. And collateral damage was doing about 350 as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're right, the Smite was the strongest ability, but just the timing.
The timing.
Timing window. Like,
the way it chunks down from the ultimates is what caused the difficulties for Santorin. But never has a Dragon Steel been so technical. Like, usually you just see like a rain of axe over the wall from Olaf and it just happens to steal it. But in this circumstance it was like, yeah, it was like surgical removal of the dragon from the pit. Good stuff. Holy Phoenix. It's just being set up for everything. That was actually cool from Cass, providing the vision so Holy Phoenix could take that on the way. Because before you used to be able to do that, even because the Grump would just would chill there, but now because it resets with patience, you need someone there to keep it in place. Otherwise, it just runs out of patience and runs back.
This is a little treacherous in the mid lane for Godbro. Having to wave clear against 4 people. I feel like Huma could look to just turn on... Mouse could look to turn on Huma right now.
Oh, here comes the Maokai trading potential. Jumps onto Holy Phoenix, but now he's got the help from Janna and the speed up from heal. Running away from the sapling. The sapling slow might have been enough for Bean2 to stick to him.
Willib is actually back in this game. Just to keep that in mind.
Yep.
He's half a level down now and is getting good solo experience on the bottom side. The rest of his team are fairly confident to just clear through mid. Good block from Rux though on the Glitter Lance. Stops the wave clear.
Ooh. The long range snipe, the collateral damage. Nardius, where's the follow-up? Doesn't have it.
So many shields to deal with though.
Yep.
Like Cass and Godbro both using their shields on the Lulu, keeping him alive.
There's a ridiculous amount of shielding in this game. Like Sevex as well. If only he was on the other team, it'd be even more shields. There's another shield onto the tower. Holy Phoenix. The damage onto Dan actually as he's retreating.
Oh, here comes Godbro from the TP. Ooh,
yeah, the
3
flank
bursts
Dan has
slow.
actually taken so much. The knock-up. Godbro jumps in with a wild growth, but Huma actually can't really follow up on that.
That was a lot used by Godbro, but it does defend the push from Mouse. And again, it's another situation where for Huma, if they can hold mid lane, you force Mouse into this situation where they have to engage on you with the Maokai. We saw it earlier from Millennium running a very similar setup where they had to engage to be able to close out a game. Mouse do have the Maokai that will be able to do it for them, but they have to be safe while doing it.
The ultimate from there by Godbro was actually kind of good. He burnt 2 summoners for 4. But wait, there's more in the mid lane. The rest of the team was able to push the mid lane, get some damage there. So the deal was even more fantastic. So yeah, well played by Godbro to cash in then and use his ultimate. There is the fan vote, 64% over to Huma. Actually more to Mouse than expected, but they have performed very well in the early game and also well in the... Funnily well in the draft.
Funnily well.
Yeah.
That's some good Inglando.
It is.
Oh, they caught Holy Phoenix!
Whoop, but the shields, and he shrugs it off. He's actually not even below 50% from that. And the Monsoon used for the healing. This is some really heads-up play from the players.
It's buying Willib time as well, because Willib's over on the side lane pushing that. He's going to get teleported on, so that won't be the tower going to him, but it burns the teleport. Now the rest of the team in the middle lane have a little more room to fight.
Willib has teleport though, so he has multiple choices. He has 2 pink wards off to the sides, so he could jump in behind here. Bean2 is now running after, so I think the window is gone, and Willib will just walk back to his team. So they don't make the aggressive decision. I don't think their composition is turned on enough for him to go into the fight and make it instantly work, because Holy Phoenix doesn't want 1 item. A bunch of players went back as well, so they may even give up this turret.
Well, Rux is... Oh, double binding.
And Godbro has been caught this time. It's just not enough to save him. Holy Phoenix has been jumped on by the Maokai. They'll be slamming him towards the team with the Arcane Smash. That was a weird sequence of events for Huma.
So what's been happening here for Huma is that Rux has finally realized on the side of Mouse that he should just block the Glitter Lance. And if he blocks the Glitter Lance, the wave clear goes. He just blocks Glitter Lance and any Piltovers that come out, and they're able to just clear through mid lane and push the turret down, and there's not really a lot that Huma can do right now to stop it because this Caitlyn isn't strong enough. She needs the attack speed to actually really be able to do anything. Looking for that rapid fire cannon next, I would assume. But we've got a long time before Caitlyn's in this game either. Like, Huma need extra time. Nardius is roughly where he needs to be. Just got to finish stacking that tier and he'll be good.
Quad Swifties from Mousesports. Now Dragon has spawned, so they'll be going for this one, but this is I believe this is the best that Mouse has looked in an early game so far.
Oh, definitely. Like, if not from a statistical point, just from a gameplay point.
Yeah, but they made one roster change, being Nardius over Taric. And usually, like, if you replace like a mid laner or a shot caller, like someone from support, for example, someone who makes big calls, you see big changes like this in terms of like just how they've been playing the map strategically. But usually the AD carry is not the shot caller, so it's so interesting that this is happening. May not even be a correlation.
May not be. Mouse. Oh, Rift Herald
reset.
Does reset. It won't do too much.
Man, Braum is such a good pick in this game. Like, I don't think we stated enough in Champion Select. Blocking Glitter Lance for the wave clear, blocking Nidalee Spears for the poke, Piltovers even, and maybe even a Janna Tornado. Like, there's so many big spells to block in this game from Unbreakable.
Well, this is one of the reasons why we've just seen a lot of Braum in general, is with a meta that's going towards poke. It's just such a good pick. We've always seen it. Like, a good Braum that can block abilities. Like whenever we see Jace, we see Braum generally because you just play goalkeeper. if you can block the projectiles, that's really your role done. From there, the only other part of Braum really is knowing when and where to use your ultimate.
Pretty much. Top lane is just being sieged by Mouse as well. Huma
Again blocks the Glitter Lance.
I'm not even sure this is good for Huma. They'll jump in and do a bit of damage. The flash is out, so they burn a couple summoners. And they keep the tower alive, but on the next push it's just going to go down. And this push in with the Rift Herald is really working out. You rarely see teams group up around a Rift Herald pickup, but it worked really well there.
Yeah, it did work really well. Again, and it's just from Mouse being able to reliably push forward. There's honestly no other solid clear coming from Huma. And Willib, again, was... Because he was behind, now you can look at it and see he's got a big CS advantage from the time he spent in the solo lane. Because he was behind, Willib hasn't been enough of a problem on the other side, just like we talked about with the Quinn earlier for Morsu. Willib is getting there, though, that people are going to have to start dealing with him in multiple numbers, not just Beansu. Because Willib's now got the level advantage, actually, in that trade.
Huma are definitely scaling. It's just a matter of how much they lose before they hit the point where they can make things happen. Like when Willib is able to start dueling people, when Holyfingers hits the ball item and is able to join team fights, which is now. Just picked it up.
It is now.
And then, you know, the rest of the team is just to facilitate the carries. So now we need to see what Huma do, because I believe their composition has itemized enough and has enough time now that they can start doing things proactively or even reactively and make something happen. Yeah,
well, now it's all on the TP bot, apparently, as Beansu appears. They get a tower again, just another time that Mouse step up. Huma provide no resistance, and Mouse take the turret. This is a lot better from Mouse than we've seen, and they're not doing anything that's overly complex in this setup.
That was just a nice map play. It was like they identified the Fioras in the top lane, they had someone in the mid lane clearing, and they just used the TP to use to make the minion invulnerable and carry on pushing the tower while they had the numbers advantage. It was heads up. It's better shot calling that we've seen from Mouse than in every other week.
Yeah, it actually is. I mean, Mouse just look like a stronger team in this than they have before.
Yeah.
Still think we... I mean, I'm still not convinced, just from an overall standpoint. So much snowballed or rippled from the early play. Nadius is like, I know you're there, Willib. Get away. So much was that ripple effect from the invade earlier, where Nadius and Rux went into the jungle, stopped the level 1. The Huma have struggled with a scaling composition to actually get into the game. The fact that it's only 2 kills kind of makes it not too bad for for Huma, because even though they've been losing towers and leaving a lot of global gold, it means the actual snowball hasn't been building too big. So it's not insurmountable yet.
Very true.
Getting close, though.
Close, but there's still a big opportunity.
Also, like,
for Huma,
some of the key members of Huma have been farming so much better than Mouse, because Mouse have been grouped. Like, you look at top lane, 189 to 142, 218 on Holy Phoenix to 177. Yes, there is a lead for Sebex. You'd expect that on a Lux, but it means that actually Holy Phoenix has the gold advantage by about 500 in the 80 carry position alone. So he's still getting into the game.
I wonder how team fights will go, because now it feels like it's the time where Huma can 4-1. It's kind of annoying that they lost those inner turrets, but they should be able to defend the inhibitor one super easily.
Dan didn't see the ward. Or at least he didn't stop to attack it, the one in the blue ward in the river. He definitely saw it because he stepped in the bush.
Yeah. I mean, his character saw it, he didn't see it. Santorin. Not quite today. Pushing in the mid lane now. So this game has definitely stalled out significantly over the last like 2-3 minutes. Beansu in this 1-1 against Willib in the bottom lane. Willib is just waiting for his time, waiting for the minion wave to come up. Beansu will stay there as long as there is a Willib there, but he doesn't have TP. So if Huma make a proactive play on the top side of the map, he's not there to help.
And now Huma have gone into tri-lane mode for a little while. It's only until Mouse somehow feel confident enough to push an inhibitor tower, which I think Huma are just banking on not happening anytime soon. They're going to expect Mouse to go for objectives like Dragon and Baron first, rather than sieging a middle lane inhibitor, which, considering 2 dragons have already gone over to Mouse, may not be the best idea for the longevity of this game. We're now 12 minutes away from a potential 5th dragon. It is a fair amount of time away. Would take us just past that 37-minute mark.
Huma are definitely very much in their farm state right now. They're just straight up farming. Like, they're going 1-3-1, so they can soak the experience and minions into their carries. So Holy Phoenix gets solo lane XP, so does Whirlip, and they're just gearing up. They're getting to a point where they can reliably win a fight, but they're losing a lot for it. There's kind of a sweet spot where they will have the ability to fight and win, versus them overweighting and then Mouse just getting too much and just not being able to win anymore. So
one thing I'm a bit of a fan of, just from the statement that it makes rather than the actual build path. BF Sword on Whirlip's Fiora. So as a statement that says, I am gonna 1v1 you and I'm gonna hurt. Like, I'm gonna deal a lot of damage.
That's interesting. I wonder.
I guess it's going towards BT.
BT, yeah.
That would be my assumption, especially now with the Vamp Scepter, which makes it significantly easier to predict that.
Could be Essence Reaver.
It could be Essence Reaver as well, you are right.
Would we see an Essence Reaver on Fiora? Probably not. But yeah, usually you go a Black Cleaver from here. Mouse just finished off the top tower, which was already low. They have the 2 carries in the opposite lanes. I don't know if they can hold. They have Santorin poking from the side. They have wave clear from Godbro, and actually it's okay for now. They have an empty lane where Whirlip is just pushing up and taking that tower. Now Holy Phoenix rejoins the team, and Beansu is going into the bot lane. So Whirlip has a small opportunity where he can take the tower.
Yeah, this tower is going down.
Okay, that's good from Huma. And they're still only 2,000 gold behind.
Look at Mouse, though. They've gone to the Baron. This is not really a good sign from Mouse that they were kind of second-guessing if they wanted the Baron there. Or they were looking to try and catch Santorin and Holy Phoenix. Oh, Holy Phoenix might be caught.
Yeah, Dan with the slowdown, the end of the line as well. So they poke him out. Holy Phoenix still has heal. Santorin has heal. They have all the PO abilities still remaining on Huma. So it's actually not too bad here. Whirlip now going for this blue buff. The rest of the Mouse are closing in. There's the blue trinket going down, so they know where he is. Dan will be able to steal this one away. Goes over to Nardius. Feeding a lot of these buffs over to Nardius. He benefits highly from both red buff and blue buff to poke, and also deal more damage on that poke with the slowdown, additionally from Iceborne Gauntlet.
Oh, the BT.
There it is.
On Whirlip.
That's so interesting, but...
He just wants the shield, plus the ability to just lifesteal up against this Maokai and just push forward, keep going.
The interesting thing in this one is that Beansu is obviously, he's built to stop Whirlip, so he goes armor. And then usually to counteract that, you go Black Cleaver for the armor penetration, and then is this cycle of life in the top lane as you have the one-on-one with the Fiora. But he goes BF Sword into BT, which gives you more survivability, so if he joins a fight. But I don't know if it's better for the dueling. I think Beansu might be able to just stall him out now. As soon as he finishes his second armor item, I think he just stops Whirlip.
Thing is, like, I don't think Whirlip is going to be in a situation with that amount of lifesteal and stuff and that side of it that Whirlip's going to die at the same time. I think
he's not going to die.
It's just going to be that Beansu stalls him out, Whirlip goes and heals back up off the minions and starts the push again afresh with the BT shield. So I think that both sides of that are this weird thing that we don't normally see too much. But we'll see exactly how it goes for Whirlip. He is significantly far up on CS now and has the level advantage still.
I mean, this is all just predicting what we assume is going to happen. But, like, this never usually happens, so... we'll see it in action at some point in this game, I'm sure. Big minion wave in the top lane. And Dan is the one to stop it. Opening here for Huma, perhaps? Beansu has Righteous Glory.
Whirlip still has his teleport. The problem is, Huma can't really get an engage
Yeah, I think we almost missed a beat with the amount of wave clear that Mouse have. Like Lux ult being on a fairly low cooldown, Athene's being easy to pick up early. Gabe Santorin actually getting locked up and takes another bit of damage. Beats with a flash and the engage. The ultimate will be coming up right about now, and now they'll continue the chase. Holy Phoenix on the retreat here. There's a flash forwards. Binding lands onto minions, not on their key target, but the slowdown on Sukas. He takes another one. This one will be shielded out. And now Huma are able to disengage, get back to their turrets. Whirlib is in the bottom lane by himself, has the teleport to get to his team if needed. That was a fantastic pick onto Santorin. Yeah,
it was a good pick on Santorin, and honestly, with Huma not having the ability to engage, there's almost no way of them actually picking and choosing their fights. It's all on how much do they get kited and poked around. You can see now Holy Phoenix is trying to just deal damage, but in the earlier fight, Binsu is too tanky. Not only has Binsu itemized against Whirlip, he's itemized against Holy Phoenix. The two damage threats coming from Huma are both AD. And there's no real way to get through this armor.
Additionally, Binsu still had his teleport, so he just teleports down, the tower doesn't even die. Even if he didn't teleport, that was not enough minions for Whirlip to take the tower regardless. He'd have to wait for another minion wave. There was only 3 caster minions remaining. So this is just kind of going bad to worse. They have significant CS advances in top and AD carry, so they're stronger than their counterparts, but it's easier to itemize as a tank versus a damage dealer, at least just a stall while sitting underneath a tower, that you don't need to have a massive CS differential against your opponent.
That is very true. Also helps when you got an ult. That's like,
yes. Damage reduction! This will be nice. Yeah.
So, Huma on the top side of the map. Mouse are like, okay, Dragon 4. 6 minutes to go, boys. That's all we need. And Mouse are playing like Mouse played when we saw them play Team Dignitas EU in the Challenger Finals.
Kinda, but sort of, but not really. I would say like the counterpoint would be like they are doing more. They are actually pushing in lanes, they are sieging, they are making good strategical plays, but versus what we saw in the finals, which was, let's go fight for Dragon. All right, we'll see you in 6 minutes.
How many times in this split of EUCS or EU LCS has a team realistically played for 5 dragons, like Mouse are kind of doing right now? It's not the only thing they're doing, but they're certainly not like actively moving forward in every lane. Like they're not actively looking to close this game out yet.
So I'd say like they're not proactively being like, we must take every dragon. They've taken it because it's there and Huma have not contested.
Right, but at the same time, I mean, like, it's not as if Mouse are pushing to win this game within the next few minutes, even though they do have a bit of a lead. They've not been focused on getting their gold lead further ahead, which isn't inherently a problem. It's just, it's a slower paced game, which, oh, that ward doesn't spot the ward in the back.
Well, they're reactively going for that win condition versus proactively going for it.
Which is what Whirlip's going for, because he's trying to split push through in the bottom side.
Yeah, again, very few minions. He'll be tanking it up.
That's how this game could be won for Huma, is Whirlip actually pushing through, because he's creating enough map pressure that it's forced Binsu to recall.
He jumps on, that gets parried. Binsu has messed up this trade, and now he's running away into his ally, but Whirlip should be able to get these vitals off. If Binsu can get near his wall, though, and CCs him up, did not get the healing off. Binsu was constantly moving away, so he couldn't hit the vitals. But that was 2 members committed. There's no punish from Huma yet, and I don't think they can. Sebex looking for a pick off to the side. Holy Phoenix is looking to go ham. Is leading the pack, actually, and has all these shields on top of him. He needs to be the carry that Huma need, but don't get it off right now.
Is it the one that they deserve at this point, though,
I don't know.
From this game? I mean, they picked a tricky comp to run with this Caitlyn, the late game, with the split pusher from Whirlip, and you can see Whirlip is by far and away past the flame horizon on Binsu. But he's strong enough that he draws 2 people now, and that does create a problem. If Huma can deter this Baron, if they can stop it, Huma still could look to turn this game. They're on to Godpro.
Godpro has been initiated on, uses the Wild Grove on himself, and Holy Phoenix is just struggling to get through the front line. A disengage perhaps in here, but not going to happen. He goes out of the fight. Double kill for Naudius, picking up those 2 kills off the back of
Where does Whirlip go? He's going to try and
teleporting. He's going into the bot lane. He'll be drawing pressure. There's no one down from Mouse, but I believe someone
It's
they
on
just have
Santorin.
They need to stop the recalls.
If Santorin can somehow steal this, can he get a ward in?
How much do they lose?
The ward's there. He slowed Mouse down. Oh, they're going to catch Santorin.
Santorin goes down. This will be the Baron picked up. Now they have the enhanced recalls. And that inhibitor's dead, by the way. That is just a visual bug. And Whirlip just can't get anything extra from that. The enhanced recalls and the home guards, maybe, if they knew where Whirlip was recalling, they could have stopped him.
Yeah.
That was like the darkest timeline for Huma right there. Santorin trying to stop the recalls, but gets CC'd up behind the pit, dies, then they go for the Baron.
And at this point, this was the replay of this. So Godbro, again, a little caught out. This is the second or third fight that we've really seen that happen. Second time Godbro's died like this. And it makes it so much more difficult for Holy Phoenix. He just got clipped by the corner of the Braum ult there. Tries to flash out, can't get away. Blue build Ezreal, too strong to get away from. Santorin bided his time for so long, but Mouse are like, well, we can just sit here until you show up.
Yeah, light binding. And they get the pick. Yeah. Also, Maokai is very annoying to get away from as an ADC, because like even if you jump over the wall, if you time it right as Maokai, you just follow them with Twisted Advance. That's when we've gotten those super long range Twisted Advances we've seen in the past. Huma, in this fight, I'm not even sure they win 5v5 anymore, but we haven't seen a 5v5, so we can't really tell.
What we can tell, though, is Whirlip has been doing everything he can to try and hold this game for Huma. Holy Phoenix is trying to deter. This is aggressive positioning by him. Actually still has his flash up. He actually E'd over the wall in the last engage.
So this siege is very difficult for a plethora of reasons. The first is the traps, so they can't step up with the melee champions. The fact that the inhib is also down for Mouse, so the super minions pushing every wave that they have to deal with on top of the Baron minions. Godbro is going to take a bit of poke here. There's the ultimates coming in, the long range from Nardius and Dan also chiming in. Mouse are also taking the difficult option. They're pushing in the bottom lane where there's an open inhib in the mid lane. And over time they're eroding this tower, but I'm not sure if it's worth the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, look at where the wave is back in the mid lane, so they'd be kind of forced into that backdoor prevention without the minions there, reducing the inhib. It still would go down, but Huma would have a better chance. So Dragon is about to come up. Oh, that's a big catch.
Riposted. Whew. Unfortunately, it's just we cannot riposte Laser.
TP from Godbro, just to make sure that they can contest this. This is 5th Dragon for Mouse if they take it, so they know they have to fight here. Just EUCS is still so low on health.
Oh, Whirlip actually gets out of there and is trying to retreat, and I think he'll manage to get it.
Knock up.
Good Howling Gale in from EUCS, set up there. But they're still trying to contest this, and Whirlip took a lot of chunk damage. And this Dragon is going to die very quickly. It will be down, and now it's gone, and now they go for the engage! Oh, Santorin manages to pick it up, and now they go for this fight here. Rooks is just hanging around in the backside. That's the first kill onto Whirlip and Santorin. This is not looking good for Huma as they get chased down. Holy Phoenix tagged out by the Mystic Shot, trying to get out of here desperately. Just EUCS slowed down by Sebex, and now he should be taken out. Just needs to land a binding or even just wait for the bomb once again. And he's being chased in. There's another kill. And Godbro and Holy Phoenix just cannot hold this. This is actually Mouse closing in for their first win in this series.
So they didn't get the 5th Dragon, but it looks like they might get the win of the game here. Still 25 seconds on Santorin and just EUCS. Whirlip even longer is due up very soon. Mouse are going to take a lot from this. They will triple in here. They're onto Holy Phoenix.
Flash and the bind from Beansu, and the follow-up is enough to instantly pop Holy Phoenix. He does not have the team built around him to help him out, and now the Nexus turret will be going down. Godbro, there's literally nothing he can do about this. And unbelievably, Mouse is taking down Huma here. They go for one last fight. This could be potentially good for Huma. Not if Santorin gets caught like that. Now Whirlip comes out. He has to pop his ultimate, but Nardius is just ending the game. Now Whirlip cannot proc off his ultimate. Only gets 2 vitals before everyone closes in around him. Everyone is so low from Mouse, but it's not enough that they can do, and Godbro doesn't have any carries left. The Nexus will just be going down as they also take out one last kill. Mouse with the win over Huma.
And that was a much better performance from Mouse than we've seen at all, really. Yeah. I mean, Mouse have looked way better today so far, than they have in the last 2 weeks. Huma playing a difficult composition to run. We said that in game 2 with the Protect the Tristana earlier from Inspire, but this time it just didn't work out from Mouse. Their utility just got caught out so much that you didn't have the shields and the heals and all of this boost around the Caitlyn. So, I mean, Mouse with a deserved victory.
Yeah, I mean, the composition made sense from Huma. They were leveraging their strong talent in the side lanes and in mid lane as well. You have these big carries, you build a composition around them, you make your carries super carries, and then you win the game. They got ahead in their lanes, they had significant farm advantages, but they fell behind. What they lost was a bunch of towers, so the gold went over to Mouse, and they were able to also pick up dragons on the side, which ultimately did kind of played into it because Huma had to fight them over the 5th one, but was just because they lost so much from getting this composition to scale up to the point where they could use it, that they lost too much during that time. There was a small window where Huma had the chance to like group up fight, and it looked like Werlib could have a good split push, but that didn't pan out, and from there, they lost the window closed, and the game just kind of ended.
Yeah, even taking away that 5th dragon, and it just wasn't enough. I mean, they threw so much at that dragon fight that it was kind of all or nothing at that point for Huma. It was like, well, we either steal it and somehow fight, or we let them have it and lose the game 100%. So it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't at that point. But they couldn't get Holy Phoenix into the game quite quick enough.
Regardless, impressive by Mouse. Their first win so far of the spring split. So we're going to head to a quick break while the teams regroup. So don't touch that browser. We will know if you do.